hand over to a gentleman whose voice will be very familiar to anyone who was listening to the commentary for the Rio Olympics. Martin Gostelow, thank you for talking us through the course walk this evening.
Annette, always a pleasure, and even greater pleasure to welcome John Fay, who's going to be my right-hand man as John and I walk you through this World Cup course. John Fay, still our best performed Olympic show jumper, 4th in Tokyo in 1964, and then you went to Mexico 4 years later. John, what's your first impressions of this course that Gavin Chester's built this afternoon?
Thanks, Martin. I haven't had a real close look at the course, but just looking at this line down here, this 8, 9, 10, I think is going to cause a few problems, a 3-stride, 4-stride. I think Gavin has put enough emphasis in this course to make it tough enough. Hopefully that the horses can handle this course. I know there's enough problems out there, but I've been here last year, and this surface in this arena is absolutely perfect. Horses jump the course well. We're standing at number 1 now, a nice vertical fence. Nothing too difficult about that one.
Yeah, and John, a lot of these horses have just backed up from Melbourne Royal, where Billy Raymond was the winner in the obviously the outdoors. How is it different riding indoors? You've jumped all over the world. How different is it when you come indoors?
Well, I don't think there's a big heap of difference. If you know, the basic main thing is to have your horse very well schooled and balanced, be able to go into his corners to get the right rhythm. It's like really riding a jump off outdoors. You know, you've got to have your horse under control and have him balanced, and hopefully jumps high enough.
Sure enough, and so coming off the left rein, a tall vertical of a short approach, and straight away Gavin's got a bit of width to number 2.
Yeah, not too difficult. I wouldn't think that'll cause a lot of problems, the second fence, but going to number 3, and what will make this a little bit more difficult is you're going right into the entrance into the arena. As you probably noticed, I've been stepping the distance between 2 and 3. 4 good steps is one horse's stride, so you work out how many strides by taking 4 steps and making the horse come down on a nice even stride to get this vertical. The only thing, as I said, it is going into the entrance into the arena, which could make it a little bit more difficult.
Right, so early in the piece, big tall vertical, a fairly large width there, and I like your confidence that you feel that it's quite easily negotiable. But of course, we come off this side, Mr. Mooney there helping out Michael. Again, a related distance early in the course. It's similar, I guess, to 2 to 3.
Yeah, similar sort of a line. Gavin has put a nice good spread fence, which they call an oxer. Got plenty of room to get to it, shouldn't be too difficult. I'll just step the distance.
You step it out and we'll find how you'd ride that.
I've stepped the distance down here and I find it just a little bit short. An oxer to another oxer, I just find that distance a little bit short. I think the riders will just have to keep a nice rhythm and a nice hold and keep the horses together to jump this fairly strong oxer going out.
And
here.
how many strides are you going to put in there?
I think I counted 6.
6, righto. 4 to 5. And John, in your day, if I can call it that, your day, there were more thoroughbred crosses on the circuit. These days it's the more performance-bred, warm-blood horses. Does that make a difference to how you ride these courses?
No, I don't think it makes any difference at all. Like years ago, all we had was thoroughbreds and station horses, and the thing is now, it's like the racing industry and any other industry, they're breeding top performance horses, and the warm bloods are so well bred these days and so careful and clean. And we're breeding good horses here in Australia as well as they're breeding them overseas. So, yeah, the warm blood is the flavour now, and yeah, you don't see many thoroughbreds in it at all because you have to try a lot of thoroughbreds before you get the right one.
And this is quite a tall fence, this number 6. I'm well over 6 foot, and that's not such a small fence. And time allowed is 74 seconds on course. So they've got to get a wiggle on as well, John, as they come around this track.
Yes, time is a thing. You've got to ride with your time. You've got to keep your memento going. Don't dawdle around your corners, because if you dawdle around your corners, there's every chance that you'll get your time faults. Number 6 is the yellow fence with the yellow tarp underneath it, which we call a Liverpool. Coming up now to the triple combination, 7A. A nice first fence, nice oxer going in. Quite a forward distance coming in there from 7A to 7B, but the oxer coming in should put you out well enough.
And ladies and gentlemen, just why Johnny's just coming down this last part of the coming. If you want to come down and walk the course with us, now is the time to come down. Mindful of the riders, of course, but if you'd like to spend 5-10 minutes only walking this course quickly, you're welcome to join us on track now.
Coming from 7A, 7B, 7C is another one stride, just got a little bit forward. It's reasonably strong enough coming out. So that, they'll have to have a bit of leg and a bit of impulsion from the first element A over the vertical to come out over C. It's quite a wide oxer.
And John, again, that to me seems a fairly wide fence. World Cup tracks, of which you've jumped many, how do these modern tracks compare?
Well, over the years, the World Cup competitions have the technical of the course has changed a fair bit, and the jumps, the poles are a lot lighter than what they used to be, and therefore you've got to have your horse trained to the minute, and you've got to have him careful, and you've got to have him strong. So there has been a few changes since I was jumping World Cups. A lot of the World Cups that I won were outdoors. I won some indoors as well, but a lot of them were outdoors.
And just to remind people that probably weren't around in the career of Jay Fay, as well as our best performed Olympian, 4th in Tokyo, he also holds the records of most World Cup wins, 25 World Cup wins. So the gentleman on my right does know a little bit about show jumping. And Johnny here, opening up over a sizable, height-wise, not so much width-wise, land and a big plank on the other side.
Yes, this is quite a difficult line, I find, with quite a strong oxer here to jump number 8. And of course, when I get to the planks, I'll tell you more about it. Yes, it's a nice 3 strides here to this fence. As you can see, it's planks, and when you get a obstacle like this, the planks have to be on a flat cup. So there's nothing there to hold the rail in, the top plank in. It's just sitting on a top flat cup. So you've got to be able to jump it clean. A little bit of a rub and it'll come down very easily.
Yeah, and John, now we come to the highest fence on the track. You jump your planks on the 3 strides, and now this Carmyle vet fence stands at 1.58 meters. So it's the highest fence on course at 1.58 meters.
Yes, it's quite a strong fence this, especially coming from the planks. And as I look at it from here, it's on a slight curve. So you've got to be able to ride that curve and get the right distance, which will test a lot of horses and riders, I feel. This line looks fairly difficult to me.
So you would rate this line as probably dictating how a lot of these competitors are going to fare tonight?
I really think so. I think, you know, it's tough enough coming from that oxer to the planks. 3 strides and then 4 strides on the curve to here. I think, yeah, they've got to be really on the metal to jump this fence.
Righto, ladies and gents, boys and girls, so watch out for Johnny Fay's prediction, 8, 9 and 10. And as I said, fence 10, 1 metre 58 in height, as we go to the widest fence on track, which is the blue triple bar. And it is 1 metre 80 wide. 1 metre 80, madam. I can see you doing your very best there to measure it out. I can tell you 1 metre 80 is the width on that, John.
Well, it's a triple bar. It's a lovely fence. I always love jumping triple bars.
Glad you do.
You've got plenty of room to get to it. Quite a strong fence, quite a decent spread. And of course it looks like 2 strides to the vertical. So horses that happen to land a bit short over this triple bar, yeah, the distance is not too bad. So I think if they still land a bit short over the triple bar, they shouldn't have any problems with the distance.
And how many strides are we going to put in here?
2 strides.
2 strides. That to me is also, on the face value of it, a large ask. I mean, that's a wide fence.
Yeah, it is a wide fence, but the triple bars are one of the nicest and probably the easiest fences to jump.
Easy, yeah, sure. Okay, moving on.
You probably think that I say it's easy because I've jumped 1 or 2 of them.
I've seen bungalows lower than that. As we move now towards the end of the course, fence 12, a little offset with a little picket fence and a Liverpool in the bottom.
Yes, it's a nice fence. Plenty of room to get to it. Liverpool is built really nicely. Some horses look down at the Liverpool, and if they look down at the Liverpool, sometimes they lose a bit of concentration and they can easily roll a rail out. So it's you haven't jumped the clean round till you jump the last fence. And I always used to say the hardest fences on the course are the first fence and the last fence.
Yeah, and John, look at this. You could get a double-decker bus in the width of this. This is a big, big fence to end on. What a heartbreaker if you've gone clear, say, to this fence. It's huge. You just walk through the side. People new to show jumping, this is a big fence.
Yeah, it is a big fence, as I say, though. You've got plenty of room to get to it, but, you know, you've had a few efforts and you're up to number 12 fence. You've already jumped the treble in a double. Yeah, so the horses have got to be concentration and got to be strong enough to come down here and jump this last fence.
Well, we've got the leader of the World Cup League here from Queensland, Billy Raymond, has just come off a win in Melbourne. He's in the field, as is Robert Goodwin, presently in second. James Arkins, last year's winner, is also, and Clint, so they're all here, in fact. You know, a lot of top-class riders. And walking towards me now, Mr. Ron Easy, the local legend, represented Australia in the year 2000 Olympics. And we've got Billy, who just came, as I said, on the back of that win. Billy, what are your comments here this evening on this Gavin Chester course?
I think it looks fantastic. I'm really excited to go and hop on Anton. He's a very, very nice horse to ride in an indoor. Unfortunately, he had a little spook yesterday in the first round of the team class, but he was very, very good in the second round. He's jumped amazing, hasn't touched a pole, so as I said, I'm very excited to get on him. I like what I see here is a little bit of rideability, so he's good like that, so yeah, really keen.
And Billy, John's pointed out 8, 9, 10, he feels is the sort you out sort of test. In agreement?
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite a busy line, and so 3 strides to the spooky plank, 4 strides to our tallest fence right after, so that's pretty busy, but hopefully a bit of bravery and a bit of carefulness, and we can just poke down there and get it done.
Well, you've had Anton now in your stable for a couple of years. You're present leader of the World Cup League. Have you got Europe in mind? Is that what we're aiming for?
Yeah, well, the World Cup final's in America next year, so
There you go.
yeah, he's a very exciting horse. His owners, he means a lot to his owners as well, and I'm very keen to add to my points tonight and possibly in the future have a little trip away.
Fantastic and well-deserved jump, particularly well all round this neck of the woods, particularly New Zealand. So Billy Raymond, he's the #1 man at the moment in the country. As we turn to Ron Easy, the Olympian, Tamworth boy, Olympian in the year 2000. Ronnie, what sort of a job has Gavin done here?
Yeah, thanks, Martin. I think Gavin's done a very testing job. I think it'll take a horse with a lot of scope tonight to jump these jumps, especially the 8 to 9 and 10. I think it is the biggest task on the course. And of course of all, we've got the last jump there too, quite a wide little oxer. That'll take a bit of jumping. I think there's a very lot of horses that are very even here this year in the quality of horses, and I think hopefully this will be a bigger and better jump than last year, and I wish all the riders all the best. Thanks, Martin.
Yeah, and Ronnie, just before you go, I know you're a little bit instrumental in new sponsors. The sport needs sponsors. Carmel Vet, Al Simpson. What's that mean to this club and this area to get the likes of Al Simpson backing this World Cup?
Yeah, thanks, Martin. Not only is Al Simpson a very good vet, but he's a very good friend, and it doesn't matter what time of the day or what time of the night, he'll always be there to help you, and that's why he's such a great bloke. And we'd like to thank you very much for sponsoring this World Cup this year, and hopefully you can do it next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron Easy. I'm sure there'll be a lot of applause for you coming in. So, ladies and gentlemen, 8, 9 and 10 seems to be the bogey fences. I think that triple bar is huge. I think the last fence is huge. Our best performed Olympian. Great pleasure to have him at my side. A quick round of applause for John Fay, ladies and gentlemen, please.
Thank you very much, Martin. It's a pleasure to be here. When you get show jumping in your blood, you just can't get it out. And it's a real honour and a pleasure to be here tonight, and I think it's going to be a great competition. Thank you very much.
Super. And Nanette, I think you need to take over and tell us a few little bits and bobs about the World Cup.
Yes.